Straight ahead on CCX News, a problem that extends into the suburbs, how prosecutors are trying to get a handle on sex trafficking. Plus, an important reminder for homeowners, something to think about now when it comes to your trees. And later, John Jacobson interviews Wednesday's buzzer-beating hero from Champlin Park High School. CCX News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. Police and prosecutors are working to get a handle on sex trafficking in the Twin Cities.
Authorities say it's a problem that crosses geographic lines and is not uncommon in the suburbs. Now the Hennepin County Attorney's Office and law enforcement are devoting more resources to these investigations.
We always want to go after Mr. or Ms. Big. Many times the actual person providing the sexual services is a young girl who's been being exploited, and there's somebody's daughter, there's somebody's sister.
But County Attorney Mike Freeman says bringing those responsible into a courtroom is often complicated. It's not like prosecuting a robbery where there might be surveillance video.
Does that person have an address? Maybe. That person have a car? Probably. Do they change the cars every couple of days? Maybe. Do they move from town to town? Yes. So all of those make this more difficult.
And suburban police say most people would be surprised to learn how often it happens.
Especially with juvenile sex trafficking, that it's out there.
In fact, arrests are up after Plymouth investigators last year joined with other suburban police departments in setting up a special task force to investigate these crimes.
And not to say that there's any spike in this type of crime, but if we weren't looking at it before, the way we're looking at it now, more of an intense factor, we're finding more of it.
We prosecuted about 20 people for sex trafficking or related crimes last year. That was significantly more than in previous years.
Earlier this month, the Hennepin County Board approved money to add a dedicated prosecutor to the county attorney's office and an investigator to the sheriff's office to focus on these kind of trafficking crimes. Mike Freeman says it should help bring more cases and keep up with changes in how they do business.
It used to be very much of a street kind of crime. Now it's gotten high tech.
Freeman says it used to be simple to find ads online, but now he says it takes more online savvy to track down these cases using the dark web.
You can't do this without resources, and thankfully the county board has recognized that, so we're going to use that person and use it well.
Investigators and police work through a county program called No Wrong Door, which means if a victim comes in through child protection, county welfare, or hospitals, they are treated as victims and not as criminals.
The most positive thing is the young woman whose life is in shambles because of what other people did to her is taken care of.
And Hennepin County plans to evaluate the outcomes of the No Wrong Door initiative at the end of the year, including the number of cases prosecuted.
A Brooklyn Park man is charged in a shooting that injured 2 people in Minneapolis. Daryl Johnson is charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault and another count of being a felon in possession of a handgun. According to the criminal complaint, Johnson became angry at another man when he thought that man was talking to Johnson's girlfriend. Johnson later shot the man twice in an alley and then shot a second person who happened to be walking by. Both people who were shot have non-life-threatening injuries.
It wasn't such a good start to spring for one Brooklyn Park homeowner. A passerby reported a fire Wednesday evening in the 7900 block of 67th Avenue. Brooklyn Park fire officials say the fence had caught fire and then spread to the homeowner's boat. The fire also caused minor damage to a neighbor's garage. There's no word yet on just how that fire started.
The housing market in the Twin Cities is hot, and realtors say keeping up with demand as the spring market ramps up is going to be a challenge. The Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors says the number of homes available to buy last month fell 25% from the same time last year. That's one of the biggest drops in the country. At a real estate forum hosted by the city of Brooklyn Park Thursday, realtors said that because many homes have been selling after only a day or 2 on the market, figuring out how to get more people to put their homes up for sale is key.
A lot of that, it can come down to door knocking. It can come down to networking at events like this, or where you can be in the community, meeting at chambers of commerces and just learning about, hey, what individuals do you know that have had change in their life and they're ready to downsize, maybe move up to something bigger, because there are options out there.
Realtors say for people looking to sell, now is a good time to make money as the price of houses is up 6%. The quickest sellers are homes that are costing $192,000 to $250,000.
State employment officials say Minnesota's economy gained nearly 4,000 jobs. According to a spokesperson with the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, the state gained 3,800 jobs, while the state's unemployment rate remained steady at 4%. Sectors that are adding the most jobs include construction, education, and healthcare. Minnesota's job growth overall, however, has remained stagnant over the past year, with a growth rate just above 1%, slightly less than the national rate.
Teenagers who live or go to school in Golden Valley will soon have a new way to get involved in city government. This week, the Golden Valley City Council approved the addition of youth members to its city boards and commissions. It means there would be a total of 7 teenagers appointed to serve in the city, depending on the board or commission. The role would be either a voting member or a non-voting one. The positions would be open to youth in grades 9 through 12. The new youth appointments would replace Golden Valley's teen committee, which is being discontinued. Mayor Shep Harris said it's time to give the community's youth a real voice and a chance to understand how their city government works.
So they're privy to some very important and at times controversial issues. And I feel like this isn't going to apply to every single teen. There's going to be a special teen that comes along that is going to have the interest and the maturity to deal with this, and to give them that opportunity, I think, would be fantastic.
The youth member term on a board or commission would be for 1 year. The appointment could be renewed after the first year by the council. You can check Golden Valley's website for more information on how to apply. With spring finally here, it is a time when many homeowners want to begin the process of fixing up their yards.
However, experts caution that now is not the time to do yard work because the ground is either frozen or too wet. But there is one thing that you should do. Otherwise, problems could arise later. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more to explain. Delane?
Mike and Alex, if you have trees in your yard that need trimming, foresters want people to remember one thing: get everything pruned before April, May, and June.
Why we don't want to prune April, May, and June is we have a lot of diseases. The insects are starting to come out. So if we open up our trees with a lot of pruning wounds, we're just inviting diseases and insects to come and attack our trees.
In other words, Plymouth City Forester Paul Buck says that if you wait until the next few months to prune your trees, you could be doing irreparable damage, which could eventually lead to the loss of your trees. So he's urging homeowners to trim those trees and branches over the next week. If that's not possible, then wait until later in the summer when there are fewer insects and fungus that could cause damage.
There's such an asset that just the wrong timing can be, devastating. So I just recommend people that when we get into March, finish up all your pruning, be done with it, and let's just wait till August, September and reprune at that point.
This message is especially for people with crab, apple, elm, oak, and locust trees, but foresters say it's a rule that anyone with a tree in their yard should follow. The cost to remove a dead tree could range between a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. Mike and Alex?
All right, good to know. Thank you, Delane. Well, Golden Valley is looking for some help to come up with a new brand for the city's new Brookview Community Center. The center is currently under construction near the golf course, and next Wednesday the city will hold 2 focus group sessions to collect input on the look and feel of Brookview's branding, which includes a logo for the new Brookview. They hope to get input from a diverse group of people with a wide range of ages. And if you're interested in helping out, call City Hall to sign up. Still ahead, we head to Armstrong High School to meet this week's Standout Student.
And then later in sports, 3 of the 4 teams remaining in the Class 4A basketball tournament from our area. We will look ahead to Maple Grove State semifinal game against Apple Valley.
But first, a check of your AccuWeather forecast.
This week's Standout Student has a passion for aviation, academics, and the arts.
Simon Alcock is a senior at Armstrong High School, and he was also recently named a National Merit Finalist. Reporter Sonia Goins talked to him today about his goals and aspirations.
I just like to be doing things. I don't like it when I'm just sitting still.
The self-proclaimed busybody is also a stellar student. Simon Alcock is taking 5 AP courses this semester.
I'm taking AP Physics, AP Macroeconomics, AP Computer Science, AP Literature, and AP Calc 4.
Simon really enjoys math and science. He wants to combine his skills to work in the aviation field.
I'm looking at 2 different focuses, so I'm looking at doing either a systems focus or an aerodynamics focus, and then taking that and working on the next generation of aircraft.
Simon is also on the technology team at the school's media center, helping other students with their broken computers and gadgets.
He's got so many different skills, and he knows a little bit about many different things. He is amazing.
Simon is also a member of the shop staff for the school's theater program. He builds sets
This is the bar I just finished.
and runs audio for shows.
Watching the show come together and seeing the actors perform on something you built while you're running sound or backstage working on supporting the actors, it's just so rewarding to be able to put something together and then watch someone else take that to the next level.
And if all of those things weren't enough on his plate, Simon still finds time to help others. Last summer, he went on a church mission trip to Haiti.
I just like to be able to help the people out that are around me.
Faith and compassion are his foundation for success.
I think that supporting the people around you is ultimately going to be the best way to get somewhere in life.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Simon says he'll take a so-called gap year after graduation, which will give him time to attend the Youth with a Mission training school in Mexico. Hasn't decided on a college just yet, but he's been accepted at the University of Minnesota and the University of Illinois.
Still ahead on CCX News, a Brooklyn Park man strikes gold at the Twin Cities Auto Show.
But first in sports, how a Champlain Park basketball hero is handling his newfound fame. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The state Class 4A boys basketball tournament continues tonight, Thursday in Minneapolis. Top-ranked Champlain Park survived a quarterfinal round scare with a 53-50 win over Chaska. As you've probably seen or at least heard, the winning shot was made by senior guard Sam DuBois as time expired. We caught up with the Rebels' game hero at school.
Sam, bring us through the last several seconds of the game. McKinley Wright has the ball, the guy you want to have the ball in the end-of-game situations. His shot misses. What happens from there?
I knew I had to rotate up to be first guy back on defense. Tuck always preaches that, get back. So I rotated up, and Theo tapped the ball, and then one of the Chaska guys tapped it out of his hands. I knew I had to react quick and grab it, and just got it up as fast as I could, and it fell.
Didn't have time really to think about the shot, did you?
No, not really. I mean, I turned around and I didn't really know what was going on. I turned back around and Kinley was right there and bulldozed me, and then the rest of them piled on top of me. It was a cool moment. We were down by like 12 or 14 throughout the game, and we never stopped fighting. We all believed like we could come back. It didn't really feel like nervous or nothing, but it was fun to celebrate with my team. 11 seniors, like brothers that I have for the rest of my life. It's been an honor to celebrate with them and to keep this thing going.
Later in the day, how much was your phone blowing up about this?
It was going nuts. At first, it was just kind of like friends and classmates and family just asking me like, oh my gosh, like it's crazy. And then it started going on SportsCenter and whatnot, and just got crazy after that. So it's been nonstop.
Not a lot of time to celebrate. You play a very good Wayzata team tonight. What did you see of the Trojans yesterday when you watched them?
Oh, they're a very good team. They move the ball around well, and they got a bunch of shooters. They can all knock it down. So it'll be a fun game for us, a big challenge and a big test to get to the championship.
You haven't played them. What's the biggest challenge they present?
Their shooting and just how deep they are and how they have guys that can knock down shots from anywhere. It's going to be fun. We got to guard all 5 of them and get stops.
You made the only 2 3-pointers for your team in yesterday's game. I imagine that's one thing that's got to turn around for you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think that I made the only 2, but I think it's a test to us that we found a way to win anyways. We only make 2 threes. We're a team that hits like probably 8 a game at least, but to know we made 2 and still came out with the win and trusted our defense is a big thing for us.
The Rebels and Trojans tip off shortly after 6 o'clock tonight at Target Center, and the game will be broadcast by KSTC Channel 45, while highlights Friday starting at 4 here on CCX News. The Maple Grove boys basketball team plays in the second semifinal tonight at Target Center. The second-seeded Crimson meet third-seeded Apple Valley. Jay Wilcox has more on the Crimson's quarterfinal round win and the matchup against the Eagles.
Start to worry a little bit.
After a tough test from Rogers in the Section 8 championship game, Maple Grove was focused and ready to go against Cinderella team Andover. The Crimson had defeated the Huskies by 25 points at the end of the regular season, but knew better than to take anyone for granted at the state tournament, especially after seeing top seed Champlin Park struggle to beat Chaska. Taiwan Pickford had the hot hand early for the Crimson, scoring 7 quick points. Andover succeeded in keeping the pace slow for a while and grabbed a brief lead midway through the first half. But the rest of the half was all Crimson, with Brad Davison heating up as a shooter and also delivering some nice assists. Davison set up Bubba Horton for a buzzer-beating 3 just before halftime to make it 40-22 Crimson. Although Andover made a couple of brief runs in the second half, Maple Grove was never threatened and coasted to a 73-50 win. Now the attention turns to Apple Valley, a team that Maple Grove beat 103-87 in late December. State tournament games tend to not be quite that high scoring, but there should be plenty of points. The point guard matchup of Davison versus Trey Jones will be worth the price of admission by itself. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Ahead to Hutchison for the lane.
Maple Grove and Apple Valley tip at around 8:15 tonight, Thursday at Target Center. We'll have highlights of both of those Class 4A semifinal games Friday, starting at 4 here on CCX News. Well, chances are you'll see some of the players from the state boys basketball tournament entrance on our CCX Sports Jam show starting on Monday. It's the last regular show of the winter sports season, and we'll be naming our Sports Jam all-area teams in boys and girls basketball and boys and girls hockey. Join Jay Wilcox and I will unveil our choices for the teams. That's this coming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX channels 12 and 799 and online at CCXmedia.org. Matt, as a look at sports, Mike and Alex, back to you.
Wow, a lot of fun. Thanks, John. Up next, a Brooklyn Park man wins a new ride home.
We'll show you up next. And finally, how does a new car sound?
Oh, it sounds pretty good. And a Brooklyn Park man didn't have to buy one, he won one. Greg Hansen won a brand new Chevy Cruze hatchback at this year's Twin Cities Auto Show. Well, technically, he won a 3-year lease. The Chevy Cruze hatchback was named 2017 Car of the Show. The manufacturer's suggested retail price for an automatic starts at just below $22,000. So congratulations to Greg Hansen for that. You ever win anything?
Not a new car, certainly.
No,
you?
me either. Twins tickets many years ago. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.